The Brutal Genocide and Gross Inhumanity in Gaza, a Chronicle of 2024. The Gaza Strip, a region already plagued by decades of occupation and oppression, witnessed a devastating escalation of brutality in 2024. Under the leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel continued its barbaric occupation, intensifying a war that left Gaza in ruins and its people enduring unspeakable atrocities. The numbers paint a harrowing picture. Almost 30,000 Palestinians were killed, and around 100,000 were injured in 2024 alone, driving the overall death toll to 46,376, as reported by Gaza's health ministry. Israel's military employed siege and starvation tactics, coupled with indiscriminate bombardment, systematically targeting hospitals, displacement shelters, aid workers, journalists, and so-called safe zones. These actions have been condemned by rights groups and international bodies as acts of genocide and ethnic cleansing, violating international law and human rights. In northern Gaza, the Israeli army imposed a suffocating siege, aiming to starve resistance fighters and forcibly displace civilians. This deliberate targeting aligns with the UN's definition of genocide, which includes actions intended to destroy a population in whole or in part. Eman Shagnoubi, a 52-year-old resident of Deir el-Bala, described the year as more than torturous, as her family endured perpetual displacement and degradation. Torrential rains and freezing temperatures in makeshift tent villages exacerbated the suffering, with deaths from hypothermia rising. Israel's relentless bombardment rendered 34 hospitals non-functional and forced the closure of 80 health centers. In a particularly heinous act, Israeli forces stormed the last operational hospital in northern Gaza, forcibly evacuating patients and staff before setting it ablaze. The destruction of medical facilities has left millions without essential healthcare, deepening the humanitarian crisis. Musa Ali Mohammed al-Maghribi, a father of 9, lamented the lack of food, clean water and medicine, saying, "Every day we just hope to die." Despite global condemnation, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has shown no intention of halting the onslaught. Many accuse Netanyahu of using the war to divert attention from his ongoing corruption trial and his government's mishandling of the October 7, 2023, Hamas-led attack that killed 1,139 Israelis. Critics argue that the war serves as a tool for political survival, prolonging the suffering of Palestinians for personal gain. The international community, led by the United States, has failed to halt the carnage. The US has provided over $20 billion in military aid to Israel since the war began, while obstructing UN-led efforts to negotiate a ceasefire. In January, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, ordered Israel to prevent actions constituting genocide. However, Israel has ignored these directives, continuing its campaign of mass destruction. The International Criminal Court, ICC, has issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes and crimes against humanity. Yet, Israeli strikes persist, further undermining international justice. For Palestinians like Shireen Abu Nida, the war has been a year of unimaginable suffering. Abu Nida, left to care for her 4 children after her husband was abducted by Israeli forces, expressed her despair. "This has been the worst year of my life. Nobody in the world has lived through the days that we are living through." As the new year begins, Gaza remains besieged, its people defiant yet weary, and its future uncertain under the shadow of Israel's occupation and barbarity. The cries for justice grow louder, demanding an end to the genocide and a recognition of the Palestinians' right to live in dignity and peace. Crossworld News International News Desk.